Why does light bend around stars? Here's the answer you've heard 1,000 times. Gravity pulls it. Mass attracts light. The star's enormous weight tugs on photons passing nearby. That belief is not a little wrong, fundamentally wrong. Light has no mass. Zero. None. Gravity doesn't pull things with no mass. That's basic physics. So what's actually happening? Here's a fact that should stop you cold. In 1919, scientists photographed stars during a solar eclipse. Stars that should have been hidden behind the sun, they were visible. Their light curved around it, not because the sun pulled them, but because space itself, the actual fabric of reality, was bent. You've never seen straight light in your life, not once. Every photon reaching your eye right now is following a curved path through warped space-time. You just can't tell because you're inside the curve too. This changes everything about how you understand gravity, space, even what straight means. Let me show you. Grab a glass of water. Seriously, do this right now. Put a straw in it, or a pencil, or a spoon. Anything straight. Look at it from the side, broken. The straw looks snapped at the water line, bent at an impossible angle. You've seen this 100 times. You probably stopped questioning it when you were 6 years old. But here's the thing. That straw isn't bent. Light is. Light changes speed when it moves from air to water. Different medium, different speed. And when light changes speed at an angle, it bends. Physicists call this refraction. Simple enough. Now here's where your intuition fails. When light bends around a star, there's no water, no glass, no medium at all, just empty space, vacuum, nothing. So what's bending it? People say gravity bends light, but that's just a label. It's not an explanation. It's a bumper sticker. Slap it on, move along, don't ask questions. Wrong. Gravity doesn't bend light. Gravity can't bend light. Light has no mass to grab onto. Newton's gravity, the pulling force you learned in school, has absolutely nothing to say about massless particles. And yet, the bending happens. We photographed it, measured it, built telescopes that depend on it. So far, we've learned two things. First, light bends in water because it slows down. That's refraction. Normal, expected. Second, light bends around stars with no medium whatsoever. That's not refraction. That's something else entirely. And here's where it gets even stranger. The something else isn't a force. It's not a pull. It's not attraction. It's geometry, the shape of space itself. And once you see it, really see it, you'll never look at the night sky the same way again. Here's the part nobody tells you. Space is not empty. Space is not nothing. Space is a thing, a fabric, a structure that can stretch, compress, warp, bend, and mass. Mass doesn't pull objects toward it. Mass dents the fabric, like a bowling ball sitting on a trampoline. The ball doesn't reach out and grab things. It just sinks into the surface, creates a curve, and anything rolling nearby, it follows that curve. Not because it's attracted, because the surface is warped. Hold that thought. Now imagine a beam of light shooting across that trampoline, perfectly straight, except the trampoline is curved near the bowling ball. So the straight path, it curves around the dent. Light didn't bend. The trampoline bent. Light followed the only path that exists. This is where your brain fights back. You want light to travel straight. You want space to be flat. You want gravity to be a force pulling things. Beautiful ideas. Wrong. Einstein figured this out in 1915. He called it general relativity. And the core idea is brutally simple. Mass tells space how to curve. Space tells light where to go. That's it. That's the whole game. The universe keeps strict books. Light doesn't negotiate. It doesn't choose a path. It takes the straightest possible route through whatever geometry exists. Physicists call these paths geodesics. Think about what just happened. A geodesic is the shortest distance between 2 points. On flat paper, that's a straight line. On a curved surface, that's a curve. Light always travels geodesics, always, no exceptions. So when you see starlight bending around the sun, that light is traveling perfectly straight. Through curved space, the bend isn't in the light. The bend is in reality itself. Let me say that again. Light travels straight. Space is curved. The result looks like bending, but nothing bent. People say gravity bends light, but that's just a label. Gravity doesn't touch light. Gravity warps the stage. Light just walks across it. And now the question becomes, how do we know this is true? Berlin, the world is at war. And a German physicist with wild hair publishes a paper that says Isaac Newton got it wrong. Not a little wrong. Fundamentally wrong. Newton said gravity is a force, an invisible rope pulling masses together. For 250 years, nobody questioned it. It worked. Planets moved exactly where Newton said they would. Apples fell, moons orbited, except Einstein said there's no rope, no pull, no force, just curved space. Now here's the thing. Words are cheap. Theories are easy. Proof is everything. Einstein made a prediction, a specific, testable, dangerous prediction. He said starlight passing near the sun would curve, not because the sun pulls it, but because the sun's mass warps space-time around it. And he gave a number, an exact angle, twice what Newton's theory predicted. Wild. But how do you test it? You can't see stars near the sun. The sun's too bright. It blinds everything around it, unless the moon blocks it. A total solar eclipse. British astronomer Arthur Eddington sails to an island off the coast of Africa, sets up cameras, waits for the moon to cover the sun, and in those precious minutes of darkness, he photographs the stars. Stars that should have been hidden behind the sun, invisible, blocked. They were visible, shifted, displaced by exactly the angle Einstein predicted. Exactly. The universe doesn't issue refunds. Einstein was right. Newton was incomplete. Space bends. Light follows. The next morning, newspapers worldwide ran the headline. Einstein became the most famous scientist on Earth. Not because he was smart, because the universe confirmed his math. Think about what just happened. A man sitting at a desk with a pencil predicted how starlight would behave near the sun 10 years before anyone could test it. And reality agreed. That's not theory. That's prophecy verified by the cosmos. But how do we use this today? Do this right now. Picture an ant, tiny, walking on a basketball. The ant thinks it's walking straight, perfect line, no turns, just forward. But you're watching from above, and you see the truth. The ant is curving, following the surface of the ball. It's straight as you're curved now. Who's right? Trick question. Both are right. The ant is walking the straightest possible path on a curved surface. That's a geodesic. The shortest distance between 2 points on that specific geometry. This is where your intuition fails. You assume straight means what it means on flat paper, a ruler line, unchanging direction. But flat paper is rare. Most of reality is curved. And on curved surfaces, straight looks curved to outside observers. Now scale up. The ant is a photon. The basketball is space-time around a star. The photon walks straight, the straightest possible path, no turns, no bends. But you, watching from outside, see it curve around the star. Nothing bent the light. The light followed perfect geometry. The surface was curved. Hold that thought. People say light bends around stars, but that's just a label. Light doesn't bend, straight bends. The definition of straight depends on the shape of the surface. And near massive objects, surfaces warp, space-time dips, Geodesics curve. The universe keeps strict books. Light doesn't cheat. It doesn't take shortcuts. It follows the geometry handed to it. No exceptions. But can we actually see this in action? Look at any photo from the James Webb Space Telescope. Those gorgeous images, galaxies swirling, stars blazing, colors bleeding across the void. Now look closer. Some galaxies look smeared, stretched, warped into arcs and rings. That's not a camera glitch. That's gravitational lensing. Here's what's happening. A massive galaxy cluster sits between us and a distant galaxy. Billions of light years away, the cluster's mass warps space-time around it. Light from the distant galaxy passes through that warped region and bends. The light curves around the cluster, reaches our telescopes from multiple directions, creates duplicates, smears, rings, quiet. Think about what just happened. We didn't build a lens, the universe did. Mass itself became a magnifying glass. Space curves so dramatically that we see galaxies we shouldn't see. Galaxies too far away, too dim, hidden behind cosmic obstacles. But the obstacle became the tool. This isn't theory, this is technology. Astronomers use gravitational lensing to study galaxies 13 billion light years away, to measure dark matter, to find exoplanets. The universe doesn't negotiate. Mass warps space. Space steers light. We exploit it. So far, we've learned three things. Thought experiment proves geodesics on curved surfaces look bent. Gravitational lensing proves massive objects warp light paths across cosmic distances. Both confirm Einstein's prediction. But what happens when the warping goes extreme? What happens when space curves so violently that light can't escape at all? Black holes. You've heard the stories. Light goes in, nothing comes out. Infinite gravity. Cosmic vacuum cleaners sucking everything nearby. People say black holes trap light, but that's just a label. Wrong. Black holes don't trap light. They don't grab photons. They don't suck anything. Here's what actually happens. Near a black hole, mass is so concentrated that space-time warps completely, curves so violently that every geodesic, every possible straight path points inward. Imagine the trampoline again, but this time the bowling ball is so heavy it punctures through, creates an infinite funnel. Every direction on the surface leads down. No path leads out. Light enters that region, travels perfectly straight, follows its geodesic like always. But every straight path leads deeper. Simple. The photon isn't pulled, it isn't trapped. It's just following geometry. And the geometry says all roads lead in. This boundary, where even straight lines can't escape, is called the event horizon. Not because light tries to escape and fails, but because no outward path exists. Brutal. The universe keeps strict books. Light doesn't get special treatment. It obeys geometry. And near a black hole, geometry becomes a prison. Think about what just happened. We started with a glass of water bending a straw. Now we're watching light vanish into warped space-time tunnels. Same principle, different intensity. Light follows the path that exists. Near your glass, that path bends slightly. Near a star, it curves around. Near a black hole, it spirals inward forever. And here's where it gets even stranger. What does this tell us about reality itself? Here's the part that changes everything. Light doesn't bend around stars. Your definition of straight is broken. We grow up on flat surfaces, tables, floors, paper, screens. Everything around you feels flat. So your brain assumes the universe is flat too. Straight lines stay straight. Parallel lines never meet. Geometry behaves. Dangerous assumption. The universe isn't flat. never was. Every piece of mass, every planet, star, phone, body, dense space-time around it. You're sitting in curved space right now. Your chair warps the fabric beneath you. So does your coffee mug. You just can't see it, but light can. Light reveals the true shape of reality. Every photon is a probe, a messenger, tracing the actual geometry of the universe. When light curves around a star, it's not bending, it's showing you the shape of space. Look, Newton gave us a universe where gravity pulls, objects attract, forces act at a distance. Einstein deleted all of it. No forces, no pulls, no attraction, just geometry. Mass shapes space. Space guides motion. Everything, planets, photons, people, follows geodesics through whatever landscape exists. This isn't preference, it's accounting. Let me say that again. Light traveling around a star is not evidence of a force. It's evidence that space itself is curved. The light is perfectly straight. Your idea of straight is wrong. And once you see this, really see it, something shifts. Gravity isn't a thing that happens to objects. Gravity is the shape of the stage. People say gravity bends light, but that's just a label. Gravity doesn't act on light. Gravity is the curvature. Light is the revealer. The universe keeps strict books. You just couldn't read the ledger until now. So far we've learned 4 things. 1, light in your water glass bends because it changes speed. Refraction, medium shift, normal physics. 2, light around stars bends with no medium at all. That's not refraction. That's curved space-time. 3, mass doesn't pull light. Mass warps the fabric of reality. Light follows geodesics, the straightest possible path through curved geometry. 4, black holes don't trap light. They curve space so completely that all paths lead inward. Now watch what this implies. Every photon reaching your eye right now has traveled through curved space, warped by the Earth, the sun, the galaxy, every massive object between you and the source. You've never seen a straight beam of light, not once. Wild. Your brain assumes reality is flat. It isn't. Your brain assumes light bends. It doesn't. Your brain assumes gravity pulls. It can't. Every intuition you have about space, light, and gravity is a useful lie. The truth? Reality doesn't issue refunds. Space curves. Light obeys. You interpret, and that interpretation, built on flat world assumptions that shatter the moment you look at starlight curving around the sun. Beautiful, brutal, true. Do this tonight. Go outside. Look up. Find any star. That light left its source years ago, maybe centuries, maybe millennia. It traveled across the universe, perfectly straight, through curved space-time shaped by every galaxy, star, and planet along the way. And it found your eye, not by accident, by geometry. The universe keeps strict books. Light doesn't wander. It doesn't guess. It follows the shape of reality itself. You're not just seeing a star. You're seeing the curvature of the cosmos made visible. Every photon is a map. Every beam is a message. Space whispers its shape through light. Now, here's my question for you. If light doesn't bend, if it's space that curves, what else do you think you understand that's actually just a flat world illusion? Drop your answer below. I'll wait.